Hi guys, my name's Laura. I've chosen to do my topic on snakes for my HAR assignment. To help me do this, I've got my diamond python Brutus and my other one Hugo is just up in the top. These are diamond pythons. They're part of the coastal carpet family, and their Latin name is Morelia spallata. So in captivity, we feed them every 7 to 10 days, and usually on a diet of mice, rats, rabbits or small poultry. In the wild, they've got a lifespan of about 10 to 40 years. In captivity, that's generally a bit lower, between 10 and 20 years, but with proper care and treatment, they can go a lot higher. Breeding is usually quite difficult in captivity. They require quite specific light sequencing and heat treatments. So this just simulates the natural progression of light during seasons. Without that sequencing, they won't breed. Cool. Alright, so snakes are generally found in a number of different habitats around the world. They're found all over the world except for Antarctica, Iceland, Ireland, Greenland and New Zealand. Their habitats include prairies, deserts, waterways, rainforests and suburban areas. Snakes are ectothermic, which means that they require a heat source to regulate their body temperature, usually in the form of sunlight. A study conducted in 1996 looked at the ecology of coastal carpet pythons in coastal eastern Australia. They used surgically implanted radio transmitters to look at the travel patterns, food patterns and breeding habits of carpet pythons. In the end, they found that males tend to travel a lot more than their females, usually with a mean home range of 22.5 hectares, with about 6 snakes per hectare, which is quite dense. They feed opportunistically, which means that they grab what they can get, usually on termites, rodents, birds, poultry, frogs, small deer, and other reptiles. They feed nocturnally, which means that they feed during the night, but they'll grab whatever they can during the day. Snakes fall into 2 categories of feeding. They can be venomous or constricting. Brutus is a constricting snake, which means that he grabs onto his prey and suffocates them by squeezing them. Venomous snakes, on the other hand, bite their prey and inject venom into them in order to kill them without having to constrict. In Australia, you can not buy venomous snakes at all, unless you have highly specialised licenses and training. In the US, on the other hand, you can get any snake that you want without any regulation. Snakes are able to feed on prey 3 times the size of their head, due to their 4-point jaw. So it's separated into 4 sections with inward-facing teeth, so that they can drag their prey into their mouth. Snakes tend to shed 1 to 2 times a year as an older adult, and 3 to 4 times a year as a young snake. This is due to their size, and they can get quite varied in how big they are depending on the species. The largest reticulated pythons can reach up to 30 feet long, or 9.2 metres, and the smallest Barbados thread snake can reach 4 inches or 10 centimetres. Size depends on male or female, and females will generally be a bit larger with greater colouring. So Brutus is a female, pretty sure, and she's got more vibrant markings on her head. Breeding can be quite different as well. They can have either live young or they can give birth to eggs. After the eggs or live young have been born or hatched, usually most snakes won't take care of their young at all. Agras did a study in 1969 of fear and phobic behaviours. So they found that 46% of phobias involved animals, and that fears such as injury or illness usually subsided pretty quickly, and fears such as heights or snakes lasted long into adulthood. Agras believed that different fear-evoking properties of the stimuli were designed to prevent harm and evoke avoidance behaviours. Similarly, Davey says that selection pressures generated by the animals, such as dangerous animals such as venomous snakes, resulted in predispositions for avoidance behaviours and associations of negative outcomes in regards to snakes. Snakes can have a number of different interactions with humans, and their worth is generally decided in a number of different ways. So, snakes can either be pets or pests, or they can be used in products for human use. As pets, generally their worth is decided by breed, age, size, colour patterns, colour vibrancy, and genetic abnormalities such as albinism. For an example, a two-headed albino rat snake sold for upwards of $50,000 recently. As pests, they generally like to live in warm places during the winter, which is usually in your house. So they'll be found in walls, basements, and roof spaces in certain areas of Victoria. When they're found, even though they're not harmful, they're usually removed, often rehabilitated into wildlife facilities, released into the wild, or euthanized. As clothing, accessories, or shoes, they can be used for products. Their skin is used in the creation of products that people generally wear, but due to efforts from PETA, which is a welfare group, these actions have generally slowed or even ceased. If you've enjoyed my talk, and I know Brutus has enjoyed being out for this long, so I'd just like to say thanks for listening.